So welcome to the Gov. Over the years, you played stacks of shows in Adelaide. What are some of your best memories here?
Oh dear. I think some of the favourite things that we've done in Adelaide, usually at the shows, sure, but like after the shows, like when we end up at Enigma Bar until some ungodly hour. It's very nice there. I've DJ'd there. That was very fun. I'm actually playing there tomorrow night, doing a solo show at Enigma Bar, which will be quite fun. Also having half of the Port Power and Adelaide Crows AFL teams at our show. In fact, Chad Corns.
That's really dangerous.
It was, yes, it was. They were very good. They were very nice to us. They let us. They didn't get us too excited before our show. They one of our guys that used to do stage for us is a mate of theirs, and so we had like Tommy Logan and Jason Davenport, and Chad Corns was backstage, and he insisted that he get up on stage and sing with us. And when a member of an AFL team, especially someone as iconic as Chad, says they want to sing with you, you have to let them.
You don't say no.
No, so he got up and sung. I think he sung the start of Run, and then he jumped into the crowd, which was quite funny. I was really, expecting him to jump on the crowd as if he was climbing up a man to take a mark or something, but he didn't. But yeah, that was good. Adelaide's great. I mean, it's one of those places. Also, Tom, our bass player, comes from here, so it's always nice to laugh at all the choices he's made in his life.
Of course. So what are you expecting from the crowd tonight? Like Adelaide is so excited to have you. It's going to be full of diehard Frenzal fans.
Yeah, well, it is full. It's absolutely full, and so there's going to be some very disappointed people who are traditionally slow to buy tickets. But yeah, it's going to be great. Everyone's going to go nuts. They're going to try and get on stage, and they're going to succeed in getting on stage, and they're going to step on my pedals at inappropriate times and make my guitar sound bad. I will also make my guitar sound bad, so that's fine. But yeah, it's always, I don't know, it's kind of nice to play somewhere that we've been so many times, and we kind of know what to expect. And now, by this stage, because it's the last show of this tour, we actually know how to play all the new songs.
Oh,
so that's thank you very much. So I'm excited for the audience that they'll see us at our most rehearsed.
Oh, I can't wait. So you've just got back from Canada. How is your new album Hi-Vis High Tea being taken internationally? That laugh.
That show, Hannah, was... So we were playing the Montebello Rock Fest, which is a festival that was started by a kid maybe 8 years ago in Canada. He won a bunch of money and wanted to basically get his favourite bands to play this festival. So he started a festival. It's like NoFX and Pennywise and stuff. So this year it was us, and there was Rammstein, and the Living End were there, and Iggy Pop was there. But the two great things about that festival were we travelled for 30 hours on aeroplanes and a 2.5 hour drive from Montreal Airport to play for half an hour.
Oh shit, really?
That was the first good thing about that festival. The second thing about that festival was that we thought, okay, yeah, so NoFX are on the festival, they're friends of ours, obviously they had a word, or Pennywise had a word, which is why we're on the festival. You know, we got a few friends that play this festival. But what actually happened was this guy that won all this money with this festival on, who was down in South America somewhere, so I think it was Peru, and he met these two people hitchhiking, I think, and they were wearing some kind of punk rock shirt or whatever, so he said, okay, I'll let these guys in the car. And when he let them in the car to hitchhike, they got to talking, asked about music, and they said they had an iPod or whatever, so they put some music on in the car for this guy, and one of the songs was a Frenzal song, and he said, what's this? What is this that you're playing? And so the hitchhiker said, oh, this is Frenzal Rhomb. And he said, oh my God, I've got a festival in Montebello, I'm going to put this band on my festival. And so that's how we got to fly for 30 hours to play for 30 minutes at the Montebello Rock Festival, because this dude picked up some weird hitchhikers in Peru. Now, I don't know if that story is entirely correct. It's gone through exactly right. Exactly. It's gone through a bunch of ears and mouths since that story since it originated, but it's close to true.
I would not change a thing about it. So there's no holding back in your single Contact. Didn't they want to call it something else in America? Like, how did that happen?
We've stopped worrying about what our songs have lyrically, because no one cares really. Like, radio's going to play us regardless or whatever. When we did record that song, Bill Stevenson, the producer, he plays in The Descendants, plays in Black Flag, so he's no stranger to swear words. but he didn't quite understand it. He's like, but what is it? It sounds really kind of extreme. Like, and we sort of explained what it meant, just, doing people being horrible to each other. That's what a cunt act is. And he goes, we in the States we call it a dick move. And it kind of makes more sense because it's normally men that do these things. So a dick move makes more sense, although we don't want to put a specific gender label on the C word. But then I think he said, maybe the Descendants should write a song and call it Dick Move. But then he got distracted and didn't do it. But basically, America doesn't really care anyway. The people who are going to play our songs will play them anyway. And if they don't, that's fine. We did tell, some friends of ours who have children have told their children that the song's called Can't Act. And it's about particularly bad actors.
That's actually what I told my mum.
Yes. So children and parents are being told that it's called Can't Act.
So overseas, are they understanding the American, Aussie, the Australian Aussie humour, slang, all that? Or are they just like, what the hell are these guys going on about?
Yeah, the Descendants are people of the world, but still, people are always just like, why is this? Why are you saying this? What's wrong with Russell Crowe? Come on, no. I mean, people understand. I think when they subscribe to the Frenzal Rhomb music, that Americans aren't going to understand a lot of it. I remember when we were on tour with NoFX, and Fat Mike finally learnt what the word reckon means. Because in America, reckon, like the reckoning, is like, when God comes down with his hand and smites people, that's being reckoned. That's the reckoning. But us, it's just what we think. It's like, so I remember for an entire tour, and it got really boring. Mike, if you're listening to this, it was so boring on that tour. Everything he'd go.
Yeah, Mike, if you're listening.
He'd go, I'm going to go get a beer. I reckon. Hey guys, and like I'm doing it. I'm doing the Australian thing. So Americans, they're not very good at that sort of stuff. That's okay. They're good at other things, I'm sure.
We'll find out one day. So you've always had this shock reputation about you as a band. How important to you now is it that you keep this up, or you just don't really care anymore? It's like they can think what they want.
It's essential that we keep up the reputation, the shock reputation we have, because in truth, we played in Melbourne a couple of weekends ago. No, it was Newcastle. We played in Newcastle, and so Jason's up on stage and he's swearing and all this blah 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 blah. And the next day he had to get up early and drive his father-in-law's car back to Sydney really early, because A, his car wouldn't get him from Newcastle to Sydney, and B, he had to take his son to soccer. So this is the truth. So after the show, he had a couple of red wines and had to excuse himself because he had to go, drive his father-in-law's car back to Sydney to take his son to soccer.
Nothing like keeping you grounded. Let's talk more about the album Hi-Vis High Tea. It's got 20 really good songs on it, but they're all so different. Like, I'm listening to it's one extreme to the other. Do you want it to be an album that can be defined, or is that the whole point, that it's just like...
The one thing we said about it was a concept album, but about heaps of different concepts, 20 different concepts. But it was kind of, when we write songs, we just write, the first thing that comes into our head, like, music-wise or whatever, and then we make it sound good, and then we take it to the band, and the band tells you it sucks or whatever. I think, there are songs in there that are weird for us. There's like slower songs and songs with weird bits and stuff. But it's just, it sounds very wanky to say, but it's just about, if the song works, then that's the way it's going to sound. So there have been songs, like the last song on the album, Food Court, which is a very slow, very soft, very loving song, about Jason waiting for his wife and seeing a whole bunch of people coming down off MDMA in a food court. I'm guessing that's what it's about, because that's what it's called and that's what the lyrics are. But we tried to do it so many different ways. We just said, okay, this song's awesome, let's make it fast, let's do it. But it just didn't work, because it fits really nicely in that particular pace. And there's a few other songs on the album that we're just like, let's just try and do this, let's make it sound whatever. But it just, in the end, the song just wins. The song gets to make the rules, and if the song sounds good like that, then the song gets to stay like that, basically. Yeah.
So how long was the album in the making, and were there any songs on it that didn't make other albums, and you've chucked them on this one?
No, on the last album, on Smoko at the Pet Food Factory, we actually had a song from the previous album called Metronome about Gordy, which didn't make the last album and made Smoko. But this one, these are all songs. We'd written a whole bunch of songs, and in about 2015, we were ready to record. Yeah. And we thought we were ready to record, and then our drummer broke his arm, and so it took us a year for him to get better again. And in that time, we kind of started to hate some of the songs. Yeah. So rather than taking older songs and putting them on the album, we ended up writing new songs. So we kind of wrote an album's worth of stuff, and then only half of it got used on the album and we wrote new stuff. And bands say that all the time, and you see these interviews of people like, man, you turfed a whole bunch of songs, you turfed a whole album worth of songs. Oh my God, and you imagine these amazingly crafted songs that are hidden and gone forever, but in truth, they're just not that good. So yeah, with a year of listening back to them, you're like, actually that song sucks, so we're just going to record these. There are 2 songs that we recorded, Jason reminded me the other day, that didn't make it on the album, which we'll probably stick on some compilations at some point. Some
special edition.
Yeah, some extra way of, sucking the money out of Frenzal Rhomb fans.
So you've treated the fans with this amazing tour. Surely you have seen some pretty crazy stuff happen in the pits. Like what's some stuff that happens at gigs and you're like, I don't think this is legal or this shouldn't be happening?
Yeah, but it's never during our gigs. It's always during the band before us, Totally Unicorn.
I'm scared for them. Like, I am genuinely scared.
You should be.
I've seen videos and I think I'm going to die.
The thing is, it's beautifully loving and it's completely safe and it's very communal and friendly and supportive. But Drew is going to run around and he's going to wrap the microphone cable around everyone, and he's going to be in his tie-dyed underpants. And at one point, he'll make everyone skip. He'll do a bit of jump rope for heart. So I don't know if jump rope for heart exists anymore, but he'll do something like that. And it'll be wonderful that they've been having, because it's funny when you think of a band like Totally Unicorn, who are so extreme and have such ridiculous fans. But I think our fans are a little bit stupider, because they're doing things like pulling his pants down, and he's only wearing tie-dyed underpants, and you shouldn't do that to anyone. Certainly not to a man wearing tie-dyed underpants. But I think people in our crowds tend to just yell for songs that have already been played because they're too drunk to remember. It's a bit sad.
Oh, we did that one.
Yeah,
we did it really well.
Done that one. It was fine. Come on. Or occasionally throw things at us, which is a bit silly. I was telling someone the other day I managed to buy a drink with the amount of coins that got thrown up at me at one point on stage.
It's like busking
It was extreme, exactly right. So hopefully that won't happen. It never happens at the Gov. Someone tried to steal my pedals here once in about 2011, I remember.
That sounds like they would have been a Port fan. Not Crows fans don't do that.
I know not enough about AFL to comment on that.
So is touring one of your favourite things to do with the band? Is that what it's all about? Like, you work so hard and then you can tour and it's just like, this is life.
Everything about the band's generally fun, except for like sitting at airports. But the
30-hour flight.
30-hour flight. Oh no, I love that. My wife and I were up in Darwin at the time when I took that 30-hour flight. I flew from Darwin to Sydney to Vancouver to Montreal, and like everyone's going, "Can't believe you're doing that." And my wife's like, "No. For Lindsay to sit down, drink red wine and watch movies, that's the ultimate."
And the food's amazing on the plane.
And the food is edible on planes, generally.
I love it when everyone's asleep and then you get your own special midnight snack.
That's true. I do like that. And by snack you mean red wine, I understand. But playing, especially, we've kind of got playing shows down, as in the touring thing, down pretty good over the last few years, where we only tour for short bits, so we're only doing like weekends or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or 4 days, and then we only do it for like 3 or 4 weeks at a time, so we don't ever get burnt out, we don't end up hating each other too much, and we only tour with people we like, so that's why we got Total Unicorns, we love those dudes, and we picked all the support bands ourselves, just so we know that there's not going to be day 6 of a 8 days in a row tour and you still have to put up with that idiot who's there, so we just do stuff that we like to do, because we're not trying to become the world's biggest rock stars or anything, so what's the point? And so we're just doing what's fun. Having said that, recording an album is also very, very fun, especially if you're in America and you can get a case of beer for $6, for example.
So supporting other Australian acts is something you're super passionate about. How important is it for you that still it's not all mainstream music and other bands are being heard?
Oh, that's what we love about picking support bands, is that because obviously when we have toured we've done runs with bands who have been of similar size to us. In fact, I was just talking to Phil from Grinspoon today, actually.
Oh shit, really? They're coming to Adelaide soon.
Of course they are. Yeah, they're coming to Wollongong as well, where I live.
Oh really? Oh, there we go.
The Guide to Better Living tour. It's great. Yeah, and we toured with them in 1996, and that was kind of we were both kind of doing, or 97 maybe, sort of similar things on the radio. But I really like the fact that we get to shove other bands in people's faces, and so whether it's at our shows or by people seeing who's supporting us and going and listening, or just by promoting the hell out of other people's bands. And it's the same with in my radio life or whatever. It's so much more fun going, "Hey, have you heard this?" rather than going oh,
it's Justin Bieber for the 30th time.
Exactly right. Well, yeah, or just here's another song by some everyone knows Violent Soho. So I love Violent Soho, or Junior Rats. I love Junior Rats, but I don't have to go, hey, everyone listen to them, because everyone going, fucking, of course, they've fucking sold 18,000 times more records than you have. But I can say, hey, here's Bitch Spawn, they're from Adelaide, they're fucking rad, check them out, you know, something like that. Here's Totally Unicorn, they're going to make you very, very scared and you won't be able to sleep at night, check them out.
Thanks so much for chatting, can't wait to tonight.
No worries, thank you very much, Hannah. Cheers.